What's up, gang? Tyler back here from Vant Trading. Yeah, it was a bad week for me. I wasn't really focused. There's gonna be a lot of learning lessons, a lot of lessons in this video. So make sure you watch this video to its entirety, because if you pay attention, you'll learn a lot. Because I definitely learned a lot after going through all my trades. But yeah. It was let's hop on into it. So it was obviously the 30th to the 4th. So we had the end of the month, beginning of the month, and we had NFP Friday. So it was obviously a recipe for disaster. But regardless, let's just hop on into it, right? So if you take a look at the overall move, let's bring it back. Replay. Pound yen, obviously pushing bullish. We had this high in here, this high, and now if you look at it, zooming in, we had broke through, found some support, and now we're heading bullish. So it's obviously in bullish structure, right? It's in a bullish active sequence, and we should be looking for buys. That was my first mistake. So I had, throughout the course of the week, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades on pound yen, 1 buy and 4 sells, and the one winner out of those 5 trades was the buy. Go figure. So it just make sure, if you get anything away from this video, is the trend is your friend, and that's a way overlooked. That's such an overlooked saying. The trend is your friend. It's super important. But let's hop on into the first trade. Basically what I was looking at here was I was looking at maybe one more retest before we then continue up. I want to see a retest of this breakout here. And so once I saw that we had these these nice highs in here, broke through, wedged down right here. So we have these descending highs, broke down. What I wanted to see was then a retest of this area here to then head back down. So that's what we got right. Hop down to 15-minute. So I came on the charts, and it was too early for me to on the charts. So it was right around now at 5:30. So after we had started finding some resistance here, these exhaustion wicks at this this retest of this breakdown point, I took a sell, and it was finding some support at this flat 66 also. So I figured find a stop above those highs, look for take profit at this breakout point. And that was it. We were bearish for the day, but overall, you have to keep in mind that this is the first day of the month. So, this is the 31st. Sorry, I didn't trade Monday. It was a holiday, obviously. So I counted this as the Monday. And so it was the last day of the month as well. So I was looking for just a quick short. It was a nice 3-to-1, but it was going in my favor. And yeah, it just didn't work. However, actually I ended up getting out break even on this one. When it was going down, I was up about 22 pips right here. So I set my stop loss to break even because it was pretty choppy, as you can see. And so then it got me out break even. However, I then actually flipped long. And this is a good example of being able to switch your bias, right? So we were finding we had a low in here. We had another low, but this was a lower low. And if you look at the RSI, we had equal lows, if not, it was a higher low in here. So after I shorted and after stopped out me break even, I reanalyzed. I had noticed now that we're creating a higher low, a lot of exhaustion wicks in this area. So after we were finding a lot of support in here, I took a long right in here and put my stop below this lows, and it ended up flying. Caught a nice 55 pips on this move. Just wanted to get a quick move back up to these highs in here, and it kept going. So as far as Tuesday goes, loser on the sell, or not a loser, break even on the sell, and then a winner on this 3-to-1 buy here. So not a bad day for pound yen on the last day of the month, which was a Tuesday, but Monday was a holiday, so not bad. Let's move on to Wednesday. All right, so we're obviously extremely bullish at this point. So I don't know, why I'd be looking for sells. However, what I should have been looking for is a pullback to then buy. But what I was looking at was, where was the price at? And so if you see this this dotted line, this is where price is at currently. But the wick was up here, rejected up here. So if you take a look at where we rejected, we had, this high in here, this high in here, this wick in here, this wick in here. We did have a lot of rejection in here, right? And everything, we had a decent sell-off here, decent sell-off here, decent sell-off here, nice sell-off. So from where the wick was, if you take a look, let me draw this line over. See where that wick happened to wick right here, right? Nasty exhaustion wick at that level. So I figured, maybe we could look for sells here. So I took a sell right here. Yeah. So after we had found a bearish engulfing, broke the wicks high here, had some hesitation, and then closed bearish engulfing through these lows. I took a sell right there, and I figured let's put a stop above that wicks high, take profit back down to this area here. That was a decent move. Although we were creating some decent bearish structure, this was just a retest right here to then continue higher. So what I should have been looking at is the overall structure, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, retesting the structure, bearish doji. So it would have been a good play just to look for buys right here, and to stop me out. But the sells would have worked out actually pretty well. The only thing is I was impatient. I got in at 5 a.m. and that's not my trading time. So I was impatient, and my stop loss could have been better. It was just I put my stop loss like at this wick in here, and what I should have done is at least put it higher up in this area here, although it would have brought my risk reward only down to 2-to-1 if I had moved it back down. It's still better than getting stopped out here. So a lesson learned on this one as well. Make sure you have an intentful stop loss, not a random one that you just let's throw a stop loss here and look for a move down. You have to make sure it has a meaning towards it, and this didn't. And so I got stopped out here before I was able to make this win on the short. Another loser on this one. Let's move on to the next day. That was Wednesday, so we're going to look at Thursday. Yeah, so this is where I took my short. So we were back at this area, looking over here of rejection. And so we had broke down, found some support in here, pushed back up to retest this this area where we rejected from before. So after we had on the 15-minute broken through these highs, big bearish push, closed back below. I was looking for just simply a retest to then head back down to fill the clean range looking left. Pretty clean range. Thought we had a pretty decent idea here, and it actually started to work out a little bit, but it was very choppy. And keep in mind, this is a Thursday. This is when the pound yen had a holiday, so that should have been just an indicator for me saying, well, I shouldn't be trading here. However, very choppy and ended up breaking through. and stopping me out. So that was another failed day, another failed short. A, it was a holiday. B, I'm selling as we're bullish for the day, and as we're bullish for the last like 2 weeks. So another issue there. Yeah. So let's move on to Friday. Or I think I just took an Asian session trade on Thursday. Yeah, I took an Asian session trade on Thursday and then didn't trade Friday. So again, if you draw a line where we topped out here, let's look left where we were at. So where we had topped out here was this wick in here, these wicks in here, these wicks, a lot. This was a pretty big area of rejection, right? It would fall pretty heavily from there. So this whole area looking left was just messy. It was just a lot of rejection. So I figured that looking at the 15-minute, after we had started creating our daily high overnight, and then we closed with some rejections in here. After we had closed this big bearish engulfing, I put my stop above these highs. I take profit just down here, retesting this exhaustion zone and this breakout zone, and I just let it do its thing. I was in profit a little bit, but then chopped around. And keep in mind, Friday was a bank holiday as well for the pound, so that's why you saw some really low volume, and then it just started to grind up and stop me out. So another failed short attempt on a bullish week. Yeah, so moral of the story for pound yen this week was trend is your friend, and with pound yen, trend is really always your friend. So if you're looking for some moves, I was looking for 3-to-1, 3-to-1, 3-to-1 almost. I mean, look at the structure here, right? It's super clean now that I look at it. You have the super clean. I mean, it's just creating these higher lows, right? So you have this high, low, high, low, high, low. So it's wedging in here to then break out. High, low, high, low, high, low, high, wedging in here to then break out. It was super clean. So if you look at structure overall, it was a super bullish just buying week, and I was selling all week. So that was why I lost in pound yen. Moving on to pound AUD, because I only took one trade or two trades. And this was on Tuesday as well. So looking at it here, if you look at this overall structure where we're sitting, if you look at this area, we obviously have a lot of wicks in here, but this is the low of the wick. So I was looking for this clean candlestick here for a move back down into this area, right? So I was looking for a short to then push down to here. So if you draw that over, this wick, that's where you're finding all of this support in here. And so looking at the lower time frames, which could have been my issue right there, is after we had closed bearish, pretty strongly bearish below this area here, I took a sell, thought we'd get a nice flush down, stop above that high, but it just engulfed right back, and it was just, I got stuck in a retail trade. That's just an obvious one there. When it's too obvious like that, and like it's going to do a grab first. When you have a strong level like that, it's going to do a grab first. Because if you see where it ended up going, it ended up going right down to my take profit. So I was impatient. I had FOMO, didn't want to miss the trade, so I hopped in short right away, and it just bit me. I should have waited for a grab. Should wait for a grab, which is what it did. Pull back, and then as it started finding some resistance here, I should have then shorted again here and then looked for a move back down, and it would have caught me. So patience was the issue on this one. Patience. So patience so far. Trend is your friend. Those are the two things right now you have to keep an eye on. Okay, so that didn't work. And then what I was looking at here is after we were finding, and let's draw this area over. So if you look at the area that I just drew over that is rejecting, it's a pretty heavy rejection zone in here, right? No doubt about that. And then it's a pretty heavy rejection zone right in here. And then right in here as well. So, you know, it was an obvious area where you find some pretty heavy support. And so after we were finding some, we had a low in here and then an equal low with some exhaustion wicks, but there was an equal low in price, higher low in RSI. I figured, you know, let's take a buy here, stop below the lows, and we should look for a nice push back up to that rejection area from before. And it went right up there. So ended up working out well. That was a winner. And that was a 2.3 to 1. So ended up positive on pound yen, and that was the only trade I took for it for the week because the price action was ugly otherwise. Or I just missed it, I guess. I must have just had blinders on it. I was so caught up on pound yen, trying to short the pound yen, that I missed the beautiful moves in pound AUD. All right, let's continue the roll with currencies. I'm kind of doing something else now to where I have pound yen, gold, US 30 as my day traders, and then I have a list of currency pairs over here that I look for quote unquote swing trades, so like 4 to 1, overnight trades kind of thing. And so my first one is USD Cad. If you look at the area, this level, look at the yellow line that I drew. Very heavy area of support on the daily, very heavy, right? And so after we had closed with a weak bearish candlestick here, I figured we can have a nice push off of here like we always do, right? Like we always do. Always push off of here. So I was like, oh, we can get a nice push off of here back up to retest this breakdown here. And so I was looking for buys. And if you look at the moves in here, I had taken a buy as we were creating these higher lows, and we had then closed bullish. So we had this push, breakdown, higher low, closed bullish engulfing. So I took a buy there. I'm gonna stop below the low, and we were, you know, looking nice, but then ran into some trouble, and then it rolled back over. So that didn't work out. That would have been in around a 4 to 1. But however, after that had happened, I had saw that Canada raised their interest rates, right? If Canada raises their interest rates, it's positive for the CAD, and that means that this would be a short. So I had then flipped short, saying, okay, this day right here, the dollar was very bullish. Canada raised the rates. That's why you saw a neutral price action in the currency. You saw a neutral price action because pound is USD CAD. So the dollar's bullish, CAD's bullish, so it's just playing tug of war, and it didn't go anywhere. Before the next even happened, I called out on the show. You can go look it up. It said CAD, USD CAD, going to be a beautiful short, an absolutely beautiful short, because I was looking for a pullback in the dollar, a weak dollar, which is what we got, and I was looking for a continuation off of those bullish CAD interest rate hike, and we had a nice bullish oil, which is good for CAD. So I mentioned look for shorts the next day, and we got some really nice, decent shorts. Ended up being around 80 pips, so didn't catch it. Didn't play my own call out. That's what I get. But yeah, so that's it for USD CAD. AUD USD, I'm still sitting in short over the weekend. It's going to be around a 4 to 1. So basically what I was looking at here is this retest area. So we had broken these lows, retested, are moving pretty bullish off of it, but we're now running into some big heavy resistance area, right, where we had a lot of rejection before. So I was looking for shorts off this level, also running into the 66. 66 finds some level of resistance and support often. So looking for shorts off this level here, 4 hour, after we were running into this previous rejection point. We had had a shooting star, bearish engulfing. Should have taken a short there, but didn't see it. So I looked for the next best thing. After we had retested with this bullish 4 hour bullish candlestick, and we broke this 4 hour low, I then took a short, stop above that area, take profit down here, and it's starting to melt. At this point, I'm trailing my stop. Whoops. I'm up about 42 pips, and so it's about a 2-to-1, and I am trailing my stop. So we'll, if you look at the 30-minute, I'm probably going to trail my stop somewhere around here, where we had this previous rejection before, big rejection, broke down from here. So I wouldn't want to see it get back above there. So that's where my trailer is. So that's AUD USD. Let's take a look at US 30 because I had one trade on that. Then we'll hop into gold. So US 30. If you take a look at this, take a look at the area we're sitting at. It's an area where we had some indecision before. I just drew the wrong thing. Right here, where we had some previous rejection area, pivot, pushed off pretty strong from here. We're back now on here, finding a lot of exhaustion. And so I was looking for just a quick scalp buy into the open here. Actually caught this off the 5-minute. Yeah, so right in here. So after we support, it was really strong support level. I bought after we had closed bullish, bearish rejection. I bought as we started breaking that high, stop below these lows, take profit. Just back up at this level of rejection here, and it went right up there. And then it's funny because I called a short right after. So it's funny, the market open. So this is obviously market open candlestick, and I was about to put a sell limit here, didn't. I took it off, and it just melted that day. And that was a straight 200 pips in like 10 minutes. So would have been a nice move. However, this was my only play for US 30 this week. Just a quick 88 pip scalp to the long side here. Just looking for some resistance at this 66 also. Let's finish it off with gold. Let's see, this week I took 3 trades on gold. One trade was off of NFP. So my first trade on gold was Tuesday. And so bearish structure, if you look at the overall move in here, we have bearish structure, creating lower highs, retesting these wicks in here. So I think I took it off the 30 minutes. Yeah, took it off the 30 minute. So if you look at the move in here, we were creating lower highs and lower lows. High, 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 low, low, low. So after we had retested the wicks this high and closed bearish, if you look at even the 15 minutes, a better example actually. Yeah, I took off the 15 minute. We had these highs in here, big grab, retested this trend line, closed very weak, had a bearish engulfing. I took a sell there after we had already grabbed, put my stop above that level, and look for a quick wick fill back down into this area here. So that was a nice quick 3-to-1 play on gold, starting off my Tuesday. Moving on, kind of the same thesis that we were going to create, continued lower high and lower low. 1850 was what I was playing off of. This 1850 area where it's a pretty strong psychological level and a level where we have a lot of rejections before. So I had taken a short an Asian session off that level. So basically we opened here and we were pretty neutral for the day. So once we pushed up, we were creating our upper wick on the daily, retesting 1850 area. So I took a short off that wick, top wicked it. So I literally top wicked this thing, stop above the highs. I was looking for a move back down into this zone here. Started grinding down, didn't quite get there, but I woke up at like midnight and saw my trade, and I was up around 440 pips. And I set my stop loss to break even. At that point, I didn't want to see it come back up, so I got stopped to break even here. Good thing I did that because it would have stopped me out. And so yeah, that was a break even trade right there. Ended up ripping that day. NFP, if you look at the daily in here, we had closed at this level of rejection before. Looking right here back on May 24th. Rejection here, you know, hesitation, rejection, big rejection here. So I figured that we would reject here, and it grabbed the highs first before heading down. So heading into NFP, I was looking for shorts. We had broke these highs, fell down, retested. So this would have been a good short here. However, I missed that, so I shorted off this bearish engulfing here. My stop was just back up at this retest point. The short was right here after this bearish engulfing, and then it just started melting from NFP. So that was a nice 4-to-1. Caught 126 pips on that. Yeah. So I ended up being a mediocre week, honestly. I was all over the place. Had no patience. I didn't wait for the best confirmations. I didn't trade with the trend for the most part, so it was just rough. Patience on pound yen failed. Trade with the trend on pound Aussie, patience failed. Pound yen, trade with the trend failed. Gold was decent. US30 was decent. Usd Cad, I liked that trade. I'm not even mad about the stop out. And then I'm just mad I didn't flip and take my own short call out. AUD, USD still sitting in, working out well. So overall, it's just a mediocre week, chopped all around. Yeah, so if you have any questions about this, just hit me up in Discord. Kind of feeling a little scattered about it, but it was just a scattered week in general, so hopefully you found some helpful tips in here. Learn from my losses and mistakes. I know I am. Next week's going to be a way better week. Take a look at the news next week. Monday, got holidays. No news, no news. So we're free of news until Thursday and Friday, so should be a pretty clean beginning of the week. That's it. Hope you all have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you later.